You'll hear that. You can't not hear that. It feels just so solid when you're going over big bumps, for sure. Hey everybody, welcome to Everyday Reviews. Today we're having a look at this brand new 2022 Honda HR-V. And not only is this thing completely new, a completely different vehicle, it's like no other Honda in the entire lineup. This new HR-V is built off of the same platform as the 11th generation Honda Civic. And man, this thing is big. We're not talking like this much bigger anymore. We have 1.7 inch longer wheelbase. We're basically almost 3 inches wider, and get this, almost 9 inches longer for their entire vehicle. That is huge. You could basically call this a whole different vehicle. It's not even close to the same dimensions as the outgoing one. Also, definitely different compared to the other Honda models out there. Look at this different grille here. There's no more of that horizontal bar that goes across that you saw on the old ones and on some other Hondas here. If you go to the Sport, you get a little bit of different motif, or kind of like a more horizontal design for that. LED headlamps are stretched all the way to the edges now, and you have a lot of nice black accents, not just the grille, but on the lower valence here, underneath the mirror, and you have these black wheel arches. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of the black wheel arches though, just because it just makes the wheel arch look larger. So these 17-inch wheels kind of look really small on the vehicle, even though they're not in proportion. It's just that illusion of basically this is where the top of the fender well is, which is not the case. Anyways, you get standard 17-inch wheels, regardless of whatever trim you get. On the Sport and the EXL, you'd get the sharp gray painted wheels though. Moving on to the side, we have the actual keyless entry and locking there. Just a little touch, there we go. And grab that, unlocks there. You'll notice the mirrors are now attached to the doors, opposed to close to the actual windshield wiper pillar, or the A pillar here, and that gives you better visibility there. It might actually help a little bit in aerodynamics as well. And overall, the vehicle just looks really long. It looks very, very sleek. It's rounded. It just really looks a lot more grown up than the previous version. The rear gets some cool sculpted LED wraparound taillights. You get a rear wiper, a small little bit of a roof spoiler here, and it's a very flat and round type of look here. I've had actually a couple neighbors come by, and they actually thought that, or they said that this reminded them of a Mercedes. So that's a pretty good class of vehicle to be compared with here. Once again, we have that black two-tone here. There are no visible exhaust pipes, and when we open it up here, you'll notice there is no power tailgate, and that is not an option. In here, I'll show you, there's my new camera bag, by the way, everybody. That's the Wandered Provoke 31 liter camera bag. Maybe there'll be a review on this one day, I'm not sure, but so far so good. But if we take a look here, nice flat floor. It's very wide and a very low load in height. It's literally flush. There's barely like maybe a 1/4 inch lip at all. That's it. And under, you will get a couple compartments for extra storage and a jack, because underneath this, you get a spare tire. A lot of people want their spare tires. You get one with this. So more room than the outgoing model, 691 liters with the rear seats up. You put them down, 60-40 split, and they go nice and flat, by the way, and you get 1,559 liters. So all that extra size benefits on the inside. Just like the Civic, this HR-V gets a brand new interior, and like the Civic, it looks and feels spectacular without even going into all the specs. So once you sit in here, this is the EXL, so we do get heated leather seats on this here. They do not have ventilation as an option, but these seats have been redesigned. There are multi-structures in them, so they give you better support and comfort for longer trips for sure. We get a heated leather steering wheel. When you feel this, if you didn't see that Honda sign, just close your eyes and just felt the steering wheel, you would feel like you're in a premium vehicle. In the middle, you get that same honeycomb type of grille that you saw on the Civic. I just actually recently saw that on the new Acura Integra as well. However, they didn't go with the joysticks that the Civic and Integra have. That's unfortunate. I really like those little joysticks, but the honeycomb material is very, very similar. These vents are also bigger now, so you get 20% better cooling and 30% better heat efficiency with this. And being larger vents, it actually reduces the noise a little bit too when your fan is on a little bit high. I love the switchgear for the climate control. This has dual climate control here. You get a standard digital instrument panel now. Standard is a 7-inch touchscreen. This top trim gets a 9-inch touchscreen. Both have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. On this larger one, you do get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Connectivity-wise, there are 3 USB ports. They are the Type A. Just to be aware, there's one at the very front. This also has wireless charging on this trim here, but there are 2 that are located right underneath this tunnel here, and they also light up as well, so at nighttime you can actually see them. I like this little tunnel here. You have a rubberized mat. I have my sunglasses here. It'll fit a phone here. Maybe you have your ear pods or something that you want to place there. So it's some additional storage. Right above that you have your electric parking brake, your shifter, and this middle console does not look very big because it looks very narrow, but when you open it up, it's actually the same width, but it's very deep. You can actually fit quite a bit of stuff in this area here. Door pockets have some nice sleek holders for water bottles. This water bottle just slides right in. You get 2 of them there on each side, and you have 2 drink holders there. You also get a power sunroof, and as I mentioned at the beginning of this interior segment, you really don't feel like you are sitting in a subcompact entry-level vehicle. It has a premium look and feel, absolutely. You know, everything that you touch, all the touch points are A1, hands down. Let's have a look in the back. In the back, because of the extended wheelbase and the extended size of this vehicle and the width, you get more room, and a lot of room. So we are sitting here. There is a small little hump, which I really love. It's not this big, massive thing in the middle. So if you do have 3 passengers back here, that middle passenger is not going to be inconvenienced at all. And you're on the same level as well, so you're not raised up. Great knee room and foot room and headroom. We're just in the Acura Integra, the new one, and I'm pretty sure this feels like I've got more headroom here than I did in that vehicle. In the middle console, the back of it, you can see there is a little bit of a pocket here. You could use that to throw your phone in there if you want. There's a little bit more storage behind the passenger. There's a seat back pocket. However, there is not a seat back pocket for the driver side. That would be nice to have add on there. Also, no USBs back here, but you can use those USBs under that little bridge there because they're facing directly to the rear, so that'd be easy to plug into there. Yeah, so lots of good room back here for sure for this class of vehicle. Extremely impressed. Plus you get these 2 LED pocket lights, which are pretty stylish. All right, let's start this brand new HR-V up. Put it in gear, and here's a good test here. Coming out of our street, you'll hear that. You can't not hear that. There is a CVT at play here, which is a continuously variable transmission opposed to a standard automatic transmission. And that's matched to a more powerful now 2-liter 4-cylinder engine with 158 horsepower and 138 pound-feet of torque. So you get 17 more horsepower and 11 pound-feet more of torque on this new small utility here. Now, once you get going, it has great mid-range torque. And this new CVT has a step shift type of system. So when I put my foot to the floor, once we're moving, for instance, you see it really has this almost as steps, like you're actually changing actual gears. However, you're not. So it's simulating that, and you kind of notice it more a lot of times on deceleration, almost like gearing down. So am I a fan of CVTs? Absolutely not. You know that. You do get used to it. We just drove our Outlander for a year, and that has a CVT, and yeah, it's not the best, but you do get used to it. Once you get going, I gotta say though, once you get going, then it's that drone has kind of passed. It's just at the very first startup. It would be nice if they could have adopted kind of like that first gear approach that Toyota has on their CVTs there. But anyways, I'm almost wondering, is the automatic transmission or the conventional automatic transmission going to be something of the past in the future? Is that going to be what manuals are to automatics now? Like, so, you know, are there going to be t-shirts that say, save the automatics? So you never know, because there's more and more CVTs, and yeah, I guess, you know, they're more fuel efficient, yeah, more and more manufacturers are using them. The HR-V is available in either a front or all-wheel drive configuration. We are in the all-wheel drive, and based on the digital cockpit, the display, you can actually switch it to see what wheels are being driven. And it looks like it's more of an all-wheel drive, full-time all-wheel drive system, not a rear or front bias. Doesn't matter what drive mode I put it in, it just seems that when I go and just put my foot just into it a little bit, you can see all the power is kind of evenly distributed to all the wheels, which is a good thing for handling for sure, and for traction. May not be the best for fuel economy. By the way, the fuel economy is rated for 9.4 in the city and 7.8 on the highway, which is pretty good. So they have a new start-stop feature in this HR-V, and that's going to save you a little bit of fuel, especially when you're stopped in stop-and-go traffic and at lights. Hey, why run it when you're not actually moving? And also, they've even changed the catalytic converter. This catalytic converter uses the minimum amount of rare or precious metals. A lot of times it's platinum inside those catalytic converters, which means, thieves, if you are watching this, you got a few minutes out of your break-in time, don't break in or try to steal the catalytic converter on this HR-V, because it's not going to get you much money. All right, so there's less precious materials in that right there. Stopping is handled by pretty large 12.3-inch ventilated rotors in the front and 12.2-inch solid rotors in the rear. Honda brakes have always been good. Whether you're driving a car or a motorcycle, they have excellent brakes, great stopping power, and great progression for sure. So, you know, driving this, I love the size. This really is, you know, sounds like a cliche. This could be the Goldilocks small utility, especially for the city. You know, small is good, but just something a little bit bigger. And since compact cars have gotten so much larger, and compact SUVs, this really fits the niche, I think, for sure. You know, I really, really welcome the extra size that they have, yet it's just not too big. And once you get going, it's actually fun to zip around in. All right, we're stopped at a light here. We also do have brake hold, by the way, so hit that. Take our foot off the brake. It has the electronic parking brake, and we just hit the throttle when we're ready to go. Lots of new safety in the new HR-V. You get a brand new blind spot information system. You have the lane keeping assist, and you even get standard rear seat reminder. So, you know, you have someone in the back or something in the back, it's gonna say, hey, have a look in the back, beep, beep, beep. And yeah, that's all good. That kind of seems to be the norm nowadays. One real nice feature that I'm seeing more and more of right now is the integration of the smartphone navigation into the native display system. So I have Apple CarPlay going right now, and my turn-by-turn directions will actually not only be displayed on the touchscreen, but in my instrument cluster as well. So that's really, really nice, especially if you like to use your smartphone Navi more than the regular one, which I do. The suspension is really nice. This new platform suits this HR-V so well. It's so much more rigid and it feels just so solid when you're going over big bumps, for sure. Okay. There we go. We are at our destination. Let's wrap it up. The HR-V starts at just over 28,000 Canadian dollars for the LX front-wheel drive. If you want all-wheel drive, tack on another $2,300. Then there are the Sport and then the EXL. Both of those only come in all-wheel drive. This top trim EXL basically tops out at $37,000, which makes it not inexpensive for sure for a subcompact vehicle. However, given its new dimensions, which is a lot bigger than what it used to be, and a lot of the new features, the new platform, it's kind of par for the course. You get what you pay for. That's it for today's review. Hope to see you on the next Everyday Review. Don't forget, like and subscribe.